Hey, thank you so much for tuning into my video. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. I'm a spirit navigator because I navigate between the worlds, which is basically what a medium does. And today, this is a very special edition of my Wisdom on Wednesday series where I channel a message every Wednesday. Well, today happens to be a holy day. It is Happy Hanukkah or Happy Christmas or whatever holy period of time that you celebrate. Or if you're not celebrating a holy period of time today, then Spirit would say every day is a holy day. Every day offers the opportunity to connect to a higher source, to an energy bigger and more benevolent, perhaps, than one that you typically connect to. And why not, right? Why not have the energy of surrender? Give it up to a higher source. I was just saying to my spirit guides this morning, I'm giving up this problem, this thought to a higher pay grade, right? Somebody's got a higher pay level than me. Somebody's got a higher level of authority than I do. At my level of authority, I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do about it. I I don't know. And I'm going to release it. I'm going to release it to a higher energy, a higher source. And that's their message for today. I am going to keep this short because it is a holiday. But I just want to tell you guys that we try to overthink everything. And if you've watched some of my videos, and I have over 100 videos in this series, you cannot overthink your way through spiritual situations. What are spiritual situations? Well, there's situations where you have a soul contract or you're being guided in a certain way. And or even you have ancestors that have crossed over and they're trying to help you, but yet you're not tuned in to that help. One of the last videos I did was how to know when you're getting signs from the other side. And it's so helpful because when we're trying to solve a 3D problem with 3D thinking, and yet there's 5D answers, there's 5D help, there's exponentially higher energy that wants to help you. And humans would call it miracles, right? It was a miracle that I got the job. It was a miracle that my cancer is in remission. It's a miracle that that person didn't just hit us. But yet we use the word miracle and we don't really connect to the vibration or the gratitude necessarily of that miracle because our brain, once again, the brain gets involved and it says, look, lady, that was an accident or you got lucky. You know, we stripped the magic out of our daily lives. We've stripped miracles, true energetic miracles. We stripped the idea of a higher source, benevolent higher source that wants to help us out of our daily lives. And I think this is a really good time to open up to that, to surrender to that, to sometimes say, I'm just going to stop worrying about this because I've done what I can do, right? I've taken the actions that I can take as a human. We're not saying don't take action. We're saying do everything you can within your human purview. And once you've done that, let it go and be open to new solutions. Because if you allow yourself to be guided, you'll find a solution that is a miracle. I don't know how I met this person, but when I did, I found out about this new program that's really going to help me. Or this person just became a real godsend in my life. If you weren't allowing yourself to be guided, you wouldn't have come across that miracle. So being in surrender is really important. And that is why a lot of times people like me say to meditate. Well, not all of us are great meditators. I'm not a great meditator. My brain is on blast 24/7. And that makes it particularly hard to get messages. And that might be why my spirit guides often hit me over the head with a frying pan to get my attention. Because, if I could make a little bit more time for them, then I would probably have a little easier time navigating this life. Doesn't everyone want to have an easier time navigating your life? I think yes. So for me, a lot of times my messages come through when I'm walking my dog. My phone is down, I'm outside, I'm in nature, I'm bored because I'm waiting for her to sniff every single leaf and twig and grass and do DNA testing on the male dog that peed there. I don't know. She's doing past life regressions. I don't know what she's doing, but it takes a long time. And because I have to stand there while she does this, that's when they talk to me. Now, how did I get there? I will tell you, because I am an impatient person and I am a person with a purpose. So we're walking. I thought we should be walking. Walk the dog, I think, includes walking, but not with her. It is not walking, it is exploring. Exploring is a whole different ball game than walking. And she was brought into my life to teach me to be in the moment, to not be impatient, to not hurry her. It's taken a while for me to get that message, but that's one of her lessons for me. Susan, slow down. While I'm running, the criminal records of this male dog that peed on this leaf, you could be staring at the sky and wondering about things, or daydreaming, or being bored, or even being impatient. But anyway, while you're being bored and impatient, your spirit guides are like ding, 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 dropping whole concepts into my brain. That's how it works, you guys. That's how you can get guidance. Get a dog or try to walk your cat. Probably the same thing, right? Probably the same thing. You're going to be annoyed. And then you're going to learn patience. Maybe if you have a small child, you learn patience. I don't know. Mine come through pets. So open up to the ability to surrender. So, right, when I'm walking Zoe, I'm surrendering to her time. This is her time. She gets to walk as slow as she wants. Sometimes, honestly, she makes me run, which I'm pretty sure that is also my spirit guides, just trying to get me some exercise. Okay. So I think she's like got a full-time gig with my spirit guides, honestly, but it's working out so far. So find out a way where you can unplug. If it's gardening, if it's taking a walk, if it's doing a crossword puzzle or a puzzle, or staring at a lit candle works really well, or even a candle video on your phone or your computer screen, that will put you in a meditative state, believe it or not, depending on who you are and how your body reacts to stimuli. So these are some things that you can do to step outside. What Spirit is saying is, why don't we take a chance? Why don't we try an experiment? Why don't we try to step outside of our rat race, out of our hamster wheel, out of our very busy day? What if when you're brushing your teeth, you say, okay, this is my time to step outside and be open? Maybe when you take a shower, you literally say, and this would be something that you're going to have to kind of train yourself to do, create a new habit around it. But if you'll create a new habit around things you already have habits doing, it's easier. It's easier to do that than it is to say, I'm going to create a new habit. That's hard. So why not just piggyback this surrender and open to aha moments, miracles, ideas, input, guidance piggyback that onto an existing habit. It could be anything that you do on the regular, right? We already mentioned taking a shower, brushing your teeth, walking your dog. If there's something that you do regularly, like sometimes, and you have to be careful, of course, please do not meditate while you're driving. Never, ever meditate while you're driving. However, driving is one of those things where if you are a commuter or you take public transportation and you're a commuter, that is definitely a time where sometimes if we're on no traffic and we're just traveling, sometimes we can kind of be in a zone where we can get that aha moment. And you've already been getting them. You just didn't know what they were. And especially if you're a person that gets them through claircognizance, which is when you have intuitive thinking, the guidance comes in as your own thoughts. You think it's your own thoughts, but it turns out it's not your own thoughts. It's actually guidance. And so if you're that person, and how do you know? Well, it's tricky. I think of all the intuitive abilities, that is the trickiest one to discern, because if you're claircognizant, you've always been claircognizant and you don't know anything else. And so there's no contrast. There's no way for you to say, oh, when you're clairaudient, you hear your name called, nobody's in the house. You can clearly understand that was not something that you heard. If you're clairvoyant and you see something out of the corner of your eye that makes you turn your body around, you clearly know you saw something. Your physical body said there is something, but there was nothing there. So in that way, with claircognizance, with clairvoyance and clairaudience, you know. But with claircognizance, you don't know because it's all jumbled together. So what I tell people is, and how I learned that I was claircognizant, is when you get an idea that it's not yours. Like, I'm not going to have the entire bowl of ice cream. Like, you're like, that's not me. Or I'm going to get up. I really think I should just get up and go for a walk. We think that's our thinking. We think that's our rational mind saying, come on, Susan, you should get your steps in today. No, our rational mind is, you're in the house, it's raining outside, it's cold outside. What are you, crazy? You're not going to do that. So start paying attention to when things don't sound like something that you would do. That's guidance slipping in. Okay. So when you surrender more to that guidance, you get more guidance. You surrender as you say, I need help. When you start asking for help, that's when help arrives. When you are in a part of your life where things are boring, maybe they're not great, but they're not bad, they're just ho hum, you're not asking for help. When you're in a part of your life where things are doing pretty well, you're not asking for help. When all the things break down, when you really get thrown onto your knees, you ask for help. You beg for help. You demand help. And help comes. So the message would be to surrender and ask for help before it gets to that point. They're here to work with you. Even if you think you're not worthy of the solution. There gets to be a point when you've had some kind of life where you start to believe you're not even worthy of being healthy, or you're not worthy of being loved, or you're not worthy of money, or even security, or maybe even peace and quiet, or you're not worthy of someone taking care of you the way you take care of everybody else. This is the root of the majority of our problems, is we've convinced ourselves We're not worthy of the solution. So if you're asking for help and the solution comes, or more likely, guidance comes and you don't even know that it's the solution. Sometimes we grasp at the miracle, which could be a person, it could be a job, it could be money from nowhere, it could be a respite from an illness. We grasp at that and we're so weary, we just rest. We don't even know what else to do, which is fine. But now's a good time to look back in your life and see, where did I get that assistance? Where are the miracles? Can I identify the miracles in my life? And what is a miracle? Because I tell you, if you've lived any amount of life at all, you've had a miracle. Think about the time that you know you should have been in that auto accident, but it didn't happen and you don't know why. Think about the time you fell down and you know you should have been hurt, but you weren't. Think about the time that you lost your job and it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you. Think about the time that your spouse cheated on you, so you broke up with them, and it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you. Those are all miracles. Some of them we are grateful for, and others at the time we're angry about. But in the greater good, in the bigger picture, you're thankful for them. You know, there's a saying about thank God for unanswered prayers. That is a very human thing from our human perspective. We're praying for our mate to notice us and be respectful to us and to love us and to be faithful or whatever. Yet they leave us. And that frees you up, that surrenders the situation so that you have another opportunity to find someone who really, really loves you. Of course, before that can happen, you have to love you, because people that love you, you don't recognize them. You're not matched to that vibration. Jobs that respect you, you're not matched to that vibration. Are you matched instead to bosses that disrespect you, to people that take your time, including your own kids or your family or your neighbors or your friends? Are you matched instead to a vibration of, I'm never going to have any money? Therefore, you never even try to have money. You don't go for that extra certification. You don't get that extra job. You don't perhaps put your resume or application in for that higher position because you've already decided it's not for you. So it goes back to surrender and loving yourself and knowing that you're worthy. If you can do those two things, your life will turn around 180 degrees. So practice saying, I am worthy. And this is really, this is really this is a technique that really works. It was designed by Louise Hay, who is the founder of Hay House. And if you really want to read something that's fascinating and inspiring, look up Louise Hay, Hay. Look up her Wikipedia or her history. She's a self-made woman who didn't even become a self-made woman until later in life and built an empire of helping people, of many of the books you've read, many of the oracle decks you own are by people that Hay House publishes. She's crossed over now, but she designed in the very beginning of her awakening or career in this industry, she designed mirror work. You look in the mirror, just like I'm looking at this video right now, or you look in the bathroom mirror and you say, I love you. And you say, Susan, you're worthy. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of peace and quiet. You're worthy of respect. You're worthy of good health. I have good health. I'm allowing good health. I'm allowing all of the messages that I need to hear or I need to know. I'm allowing all the people that want to help me have good health into my life. And I want to be open to their messages. State it out loud, looking at the mirror. I'm allowing more abundance in my life, and I'm taking away any guardrails, any limited thinking from how this is going to happen. If Spirit wants to drop a suitcase of money on my front porch, I'll gladly receive that. If Spirit wants to bring somebody into my life that has a business idea that is amazing and costs no money, but yet I make all the money that I ever could want, I'm going to be open to that. I'm going to be open to the miracle. I'm open to miracles. Spirit, please hear me. Pay attention. I'm open to miracles. You guys, this is going to change your life. 2025 is a year of change. It is a year of you can no longer, and this is what they're saying. I don't like it when they make declarative statements, but this is the declarative statement they are making. You can no longer feel safe or be safe when you are giving away your power. If you're giving away your power to a job and you're not being paid enough and you're not being recognized enough and you're not being respected, that's going to get worse in 2025 because the energy is you must respect yourself. You must love yourself. So, if you're in a bad relationship, a bad job, a bad attitude, bad health, this is your wake up call right now to start doing these self awareness, self love, self respect. You can get free meditations on that are guided on YouTube and just listen to them when you're sleeping or listen to them and fall asleep. That's okay. Then when you're in the shower, say some meditations or play them on your phone outside of the shower so that you can hear them in the shower. Affirmations really do work. I got right here today in front of you because I did these things. I know they work. I've done them. Louise Hay had this affirmation CD called Power Words or Power Affirmations, and they're really out of date, but I still listen to them because they're powerful. So you could also listen to I am affirmations. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am smart. I am healthy. Play that in the bathroom so that you can hear it in the shower. Piggyback these things with the habits you're already doing. Don't add another thing to it. If you can, great. But if you can piggyback it, please try and do it every single time for 30 days because there's a certain number of days you need to do to create a habit. And guess what? What you're doing is you're rewriting. If you think about when you're typing something on your phone and you say, that's not correct, that's not what I want to say, and you erase it. This is what you're doing by listening to affirmations and meditations. You're erasing the script that says, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to make any money. Susan, you don't understand. Do you know how many times I've heard that? Probably thousands. Susan, you don't understand. Guess what? Guess what? I do understand. I've been in your shoes. I've been in your shoes more than likely. I have. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Believe me. The reason I'm here is because I did these things. Stop telling the universe it'll never happen. Stop telling the universe I can't. Start telling the universe, I don't know how you're going to do this and I don't care. Just do it. I don't know how you're going to bring me abundance, but I'm open to it. I don't know how you're going to bring me health, but I'm open to it. That's all you got to do. Surrender, be open, and then be curious. Because when they deliver that message, it's going to be out of left field. It's not going to make any sense. But you're going to start to understand if you do this, pay attention to this, and you do this often, you'll start to understand there's something around this person. There's an energy around. I feel compelled. I can't get this situation out of my mind. I really feel like I need to do this. That's how guidance shows up. It's like a nagging, a little bit of a nagging. Come on, pay attention to what you're eating. Come on, let's take a walk. Come on, let's make that doctor's appointment. If something is nagging you, that's guidance. Okay? Don't argue with them like I do. Just do it. Now I do argue because I know what they're doing. That's the last thing I'm going to say is that spirit doesn't want you to know that they're guiding you. They want you to think it's your idea. Because if you think it's your idea, you're going to do it. You're going to be like, I don't know why. I don't know what made me think to call that person in that other department. It's so not like me. How many times have you said that to a friend or a family member? It is so not like me, but you're never going to believe what I did. That's not you. Claircognizance. That's guidance. I don't know how I know, but I just know. That's intuition. That's claircognizance. That's not you. Be open to it. Surrender to it. Okay? 2025 can be the best year of your life. Because change is on the menu. It's not even just change is possible. No, change will happen. Get involved in your life right now and think about and be honest with yourself about areas of your life that need to change because they're going to change. And if you think about, I'm really not happy with this, fill in the blank, friendship, job, health, weight, money situation, the first thing that happens is you have fear, which is normal because we're human. So I want you to go into curiosity, observer. Okay, that made me feel fearful. That's important to know. Okay, why am I afraid? Rationalize it. The worst thing is we react out of fear we never even thought about. We just know that we feel fear and we react. When you write it on paper, what's the worst thing that can happen? If I quit my job, on paper, black and white, here's what's going to happen. On my computer screen, here's what's going to happen. Your brain is making decisions subconsciously based on outdated knowledge, outdated ideas, and certainly outdated limiting beliefs that came from your ex or your parents. You're not that person anymore, yet their limitations are still operating in your subconscious, which is then operating out here in the 3D. If you pause and say, okay, that makes me feel fear. And if you don't want to think about it, you don't have to, but say it to yourself. I acknowledge that that makes me feel uneasy. I acknowledge that that makes me feel fearful. I'm going to put this down right now and I'm going to ask for guidance and then I'm going to come back to it. What did you just do? You surrendered. But you did something important. You brought it into the daylight because you're going to figure this out. You're going to say, what do I really have to be afraid of? Let me think about this. Let me talk to my friend, my family member, my spouse. Let me get some help around this. Maybe I'm not seeing this clearly. You're off to the races. You have now stood in the power position instead of the passive position. That's what 2025 is going to ask of us, is to be in the power position. It's a personal power position. Nothing less. If you don't stand in your personal power in 2025, you're going to have your personal power taken away and taken away until you do stand in it. Now, that only might be in one area of your life. It might only be at work. It might only be, with money or with health or, or with your boundaries. You might find that people are more pushy and demanding more of your time, and it makes you madder, and you get angrier, right? And then maybe that affects your health, or maybe that affects your work environment. And then you got a whole problem. So if you just step back and say, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling angry. Why? Well, because that person keeps dumping their work on me. Okay. Yes, that is happening. Do I really have something I can do here? Now, this is where some of you are going to say, no, I can't do anything. You can. When you keep saying, no, I can't do anything, you're a victim. You're just becoming more and more of a victim. What you want to say is, what can I do? I did a whole video called Wrong Answers Only. It blew y'all's minds, honestly. Like, y'all were like, what? I don't get it. Wrong answers only is really important, because if you're in a position where you're like, I don't know how to get out of this because I don't like any of the options. I can't quit my job. I can't tell them to go jump off a cliff. I just can't, Susan, I'm stuck. Okay. This is reality, right? No one is making, we're not going to be bringing unicorns or, whatever. But what you can do is take a piece of paper or get on your computer or your phone and say, wrong answers only. I'm telling you, it will free up the whole, stuck energy. Well, first wrong answer is tell them to go to hell. Okay, well, that's probably a wrong answer. Number 2, tell them to touch grass. No, it's not good. Number 3, tell them no. I don't know how that would go again. Number four, which number 4. Tell them they smell bad and don't come in my office. Why are you doing this? Because you're loosening up the energy. You're allowing your thinking to expand way too far, because you're not going to tell them they stink. You're not going to do that. But now what happens is, because you've moved the goalpost, you've moved your box that you're stuck in. You've made the box this big. So now you can come in a little bit and actually come up with a real answer that's outside of the box that was this big. The point is just to expand your thinking, even if it's wrong. It's going to expand it, so then you can think outside of the box. So then maybe another answer is, because it usually starts out as wrong answers and then it starts into right answers. Another answer is look for a new job. Put in for a transfer. Talk to my boss. It starts out wrong answers and it starts to become reasonable answers, but answers that are scary. Like, I don't want to look for a new job. What if that job is worse? Well, then you keep moving. You're stuck for a reason, because you don't want to change and you don't think what's out there is better. If you turn that around and say, if I leave this relationship and I can't afford to be single, then maybe I need to get a roommate. Maybe I need to rent an apartment instead of a house. Is my mental health worth more to me than, sticking it to my spouse and not selling the house? Because if I sell the house, I'm not going to have any money. You know what I mean? Is my mental health worth more? Once you do this energy where you're bringing in the affirmations and raising your vibration, yeah, guess what? At some point, you're like, I'm so unhappy in this job. that, yes, I'm going to take the leap because I believe in myself. So expanding the idea of your situation, I'm not going to tell this person to jump off a cliff, but now all of a sudden, putting in a transfer sounds doable compared to telling them to go, touch grass. Do you see how that expands your possibilities? And now all of a sudden, getting a new job sounds really reasonable. Okay? I'm going to end this video here. It went longer than I thought, as usual. Thank you so much for watching to the end. May you have a blessed holiday season, and may you know how grateful I am to you. And please take really good care of yourself, okay? This could be the best year of your life. Why not make it so, right? Take really good care. I'll see you soon.